With the Olympics on next year, folks, and Rugby Sevens Olympic gold on the menu, we will certainly see some players make the switch from 15s to 7s in pursuit of that Olympic gold. You can argue whether or not that is kind of right, or whether we should leave 7s to the 7 specialist, but it's going to happen. We've already seen Dupont is going to play some 7s, Michael Hooper is going to play some 7s, but who are 7 guys that I reckon who are 15s internationals who could do pretty well on the 7 circuit if they were given a crack? We'll go through 7 and you guys can let us know your thoughts. Also for this one, have written up a piece for Planet Rugby, so that'll be down in the description. So check that one out. As I've said a few times now, Planet Rugby is genuinely a pretty good rugby hub for all your rugby news. Now, I should say when I picked this team, I went with guys who haven't played, to my knowledge, international 7s before. So that rules out pretty much all of the Fijian big guns, sadly, because there's a heck of a lot of those guys who've started their rugby career at international level at 7s. That rules out the likes of Rico Ioane, Adi Savia. Pretty sure they've played 7s for New Zealand. More recently, I think Mark Nawani Tawase for the Aussies. I'm pretty sure he's played 7s. Cheslin Colby, Quokka Smith, these guys are 7s. Stalwarts, Darcy Graham, Curtly Ahrens, the list goes on. Hugo Keenan, a bunch of guys that I kind of opted out because I'm sure you could find a pretty bloody good 7s team from guys who've already played 7s. So I'm looking for guys who are 15s guys who could go across. Now, one guy I've gone with, hence the Argentinian kit, is this guy, Juan Martin Gonzalez. And he's a little bit of a cheat pick because he certainly played 7s. His background is 7s, but he's never played kind of senior international 7s, which I was kind of drawn the line. He played at the Youth Olympics way back in 2018, so he certainly is no stranger to playing a bit of 7s. Plays loose forward for the Pumas, obviously, and playing in the Premiership. He's big, but he's also quick around the park. He's super athletic. He seems to me to be an absolute lock that, I guess, in a front row. I don't watch that much 7s, but would be a pretty good front rower in a 7s pack. You guys who are 7s expert will have to kind of let me know how far or not I am off the mark with some of these guys, because as I said, 7s is generally not one that I spend any length of time watching. But hey, the Olympics are coming, why not? Another guy I've gone with is Jack Morgan from Wales. Another loose forward. Loose forwards of all the kind of forwards from 15 seem to be the best fit for 7s. The likes of a Quokka Smith, that kind of perfect balance. Jack Morgan from Wales seems to fit into that category. He's one of those guys who could literally do pretty much anything he puts his mind to on the rugby field. You want a guy to get pilfers, he's your guy. He can get into a gap with some bit of pace and score a try. He's great for that. Offload to set up somebody else to score a try, he can do that. Kick a freaking 50-22, he can do that. So he does a bit of everything. So for a guy, with that skill set, I feel like that's the kind of thing you need on the 7s field. You need the athleticism, you need the skills. I reckon go no further than Jack Morgan. Also, I should say I've tried not to pick guys from more than one country. So, yeah, left me with some interesting picks. But there we go. Duan van der Merwe. Another guy who's a little bit of a cheat in that he has played 7s before. But we're talking kind of a decade ago. He represented South Africa in the 2013 Australian Youth Olympic Festival. That's a mouthful. But he played 7s for South Africa at that tournament. He could play in the front row of 7s, right? He's big, but he's also quick and he's powerful. Like, he's only, 28 now? So he's still got that kind of top-end gas, which may start to go as he kind of hits into his 30s, but absolute gas, absolute power. If you let that guy have a head of steam, I think he could be pretty devastating on the 7s field. I mean, that team that he was in a decade ago won the gold medal. So, yeah. He must have been doing something right. The guy who kind of sparks off the debate, and that's this one, old Antoine Dupont. It'd be pretty hard pressed to go past him as your halfback, or what do they call it, like a sweeper in 7s, right? I mean, he's genuinely rugby's best player, arguably, for a few years now. What doesn't he do well? I don't know. He does pretty much everything. He passes. He's got a great read for the game. He kicks, he's got power, he tackles. I mean, I can't see him failing at sevens. I know it's a big gap, and like there used to be guys who would chop and change between sevens and 15s a lot more. I feel like the two games have kind of gone more specialised compared to like when John Olomu was able to kind of just jump onto the sevens field. I mean, he's another freak athlete that could probably do a bit of everything, but seeing as he used to play lock, this is not a Jonah history lesson. What is it? It's talking about sevens. But yeah, I do feel like the specialist guys for sevens are specialists, and it takes something exceptional to displace one of those guys. But if you're looking for exceptional, Antoine Dupont is probably a guy. Who else am I going to chuck in? I'm going to go with a South African in old Damian Willemse. Like, he loves to run the ball. And he already looks like he has a lot of space in 15s when he doesn't actually have that much space, because he's got amazing footwork. So I feel like if you put him on the sevens field, he's going to be able to take that to another level that he wouldn't be able to do at 15s. Like, yeah, just the extra space when you've got that kind of ability to change direction, you've got that gas, and you've got that just attacking-minded temperament. I think Damian Willemse would be a natural fit. I mean, he's already won 2 Rugby World Cups. Why not try and add an Olympic gold to your medal trophy cabinet? An Irishman, and I don't think he's ever played sevens, not to my knowledge, is old Gary Ringrose. He's versatile. Like, he's made himself genuinely one of the best 13s in the world for Ireland. But, I mean, he covers wing as well because he's got a bit of gas and because he's got a real knack of finding a gap. And that's kind of what sevens is all about. And I also reckon he'd be a pretty good link-up man. Like, I know sevens, sometimes when I watch the highlights of it, it just seems to be individual brilliance. But no, a lot of it is being able to link up with your teammates. And if you're looking for a guy who's going to take the ball to the line and just find that kind of weak spot in the armour, not necessarily go through himself, he certainly can. He can bust a tackle, he can gas through. But if you're looking for someone also to potentially set up a teammate, you could do worse than certainly Gary Ringrose. And speaking of a guy who's just going to be individual brilliance, highlight reel stuff, I would say World Breakthrough Player of the Year from the All Blacks, Mark Telea. I don't believe he's played sevens. He must have at some point, like youth-wise. He would have at school, but Mark Telea, just pure pace, pure power, deceptively strong. Like, how he busts through some of the tackles he busts through, I don't really understand it, but he's a proper attacking weapon. I mean, how many tries did he get for the Blues in the year just gone? 12, I think, from 13 games. I know that's not sevens, but man, I think give him the space, he's going to make some people look pretty silly because he is just that kind of absolute unit. So there you go, folks. 7 guys potentially. I've tried to pick guys who, as far as I'm aware, haven't played international sevens before. And I've tried to go with different countries. Some honourable mentions and potentially a bench. Siku Makalu, I think, is made for sevens. He's power and pace personified. Michael Hooper would, I think, certainly do pretty well at sevens. He's going to. Grant Williams, if you were looking for another halfback or sweeper, goodness gracious me, the gas that guy's got is electric. Joe Marchant, I think also the combination of gas and elusive running could do well. Will Jordan from New Zealand, I think, in terms of outside backs, he's a very, very elusive runner. So, yeah, folks, that's a 7 side potentially. We'll see if any of these guys have got room in their contracts or are able to negotiate a wee run at the sevens. As I said, I'm sure Hooper and Dupont won't be the last. But yeah, check out the Planet Rugby article as well, folks. You guys let us know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. See you later.